Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the International Down Low, your source for the history of Dota 2 TI teams if you're a scrub, and a trip down memory lane if you're straight OG. This episode we focus on the team that came out of nowhere to take it all, Team Newbee! We in the Western world have always held a fascination with the well-guarded secrets and mysteries of the Orient. What is the deal with this cat? Where exactly is China? And why would anyone eat balut? Is that a duck? Oh my god. But most mysterious of all are the secrets of the Chinese Dota 2 scene. Our very own scene can be so confusing and colorful that many don't find the time or the desire to discover what's happening an ocean away. That was until TI4. While the Western and European scene was debating which one of their invincible teams would come out on top, no one noticed the monster growing behind the Great Wall. Behind closed doors and lands a world away, a beast was growing in secret. Not that secret. We had our warnings, but they were few and far between. VG and IG ruled the Chinese scene without question, but a small monster who seemingly came out of nowhere was starting to grow in power. They called this team of newbies Newbee. Oh. Well, actually, it's not what you think. Newbee is technically a Chinese homophone for the shit, although its literal translation is cow vagina, but fuck if I know why a cow's vagina is the shit in China. Anyway, it's common practice in the Chinese scene to not include new blood, but rather shuffle around pro players all over the place. Newbee was just the right concoction, but waiting for the catalyst that it needed to explode. That catalyst was Western blood. You see, Newbee had been kept a secret. They had only played 114 games prior to TI4 as a team, and only 4 of those games were against the Western world. As far as we were concerned, they were a small catfish in a big Yangtze River. But we were so wrong. Newbee had never been anything special. Against Chinese opponents, they had abysmal win rates with only a 35% win rate against IG and only 37% against VG. No one on their team held any top kill-death ratios or any significant all-time records. They were quiet. They did exactly what they needed to do to get by, but what they did do was never fluctuate. They nearly always won by the exact same amount in the exact same manner, almost as if it was being planned all along. Newbee even expressed dissatisfaction that TI4 was a Dota 2 event instead of an EverQuest event, almost being dragged to the event itself. Or so they would have us believe. Newbee's performance was what everyone expected at the beginning of TI4. They had a rough road, losing several games, and were quickly down to a tiebreaker just to be able to survive the finals. That's when shit got crazy. There's a trope in old kung fu movies of the mysterious man in the back of a crowd of fighters, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Newbee had been waiting for months. Now was the time for the secret move they had been perfecting all of this time. Death Ball! The Death Ball strat was something that the Western world had fiddled with before, but had never seen put into this much insane force. The strategy was simple yet deadly. Devise a hero lineup that pushed so hard, so fiercely that the other team had no chance of ever coming back. The standard Chinese Dota was to farm all day and fight late, but Newbee had learned the lesson that Na'Vi had taught the Chinese scene years before, but perfected it. The standard 16-minute game was now over at a horrific 15 to 25 minutes. When you fell behind, you could knock it back up. There were no mistakes. There was no mercy. There was only the Death Ball. The secret technique obliterated all competition. The Western teams tried everything, but Newbee began to plow through them viciously and mercilessly. The Ukrainians tried to outpush them, and it didn't work. The Americans tried to defend against them, and it didn't work. The Western and European teams were decimated, taken by complete surprise, and cast out in games so fast you couldn't even finish your goddamn interview before the game was over. It was a massacre. But then, their eternal rivals stood in their way at the TI4 finals. VC had always decimated Newbee in China, and they even picked up their tricks along the way. VC had adapted the Death Ball strategy into their own plays at TI4, and now had to face off against the creators themselves. Who would be able to push the racks faster? Who would be able to pick the right early game team? It was the most exciting final match in all of TI history. I can't. It was so fucking bad. Anyhow, Newbee revealed their trap card. Not only did they invent the Death Ball, but they also figured out how to defeat it. Newbee held their ground against the Death Ball attack, while at the same time using a weird-ass half-Death Ball, defeating Vici Gaming and earning them their well-deserved victory. Literally, no one saw it coming, and the meta that was created at the beginning of the tournament was killed by its finale. Newbee's year-long plan had paid off, and the Western world was too confused to even know what happened. Newbee were legends in the Chinese Dota scene, and they returned home like motherfucking gangsters. Cash monies, hot chicks, and even fast cars awaited them when they returned home. Newbee was straight big pimpin'.
我是 DOTA 世界冠军王兆辉，和朋友中国实力的肯定，够真够朋友。艾瑞泽3，奇瑞 Cherry。
The fuck was that? They had it all: fame, fortune, and four-wheel drive. They were the heroes of Chinese Dota, and they finally went home to play RPGs. Seriously, they went home and played RPGs. Everyone thought that they were taking a little break and resting before getting back into Dota, but as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, they were still just playing RPGs. Like, literally, they have not touched Dota until 3 or 4 months ago. These dudes have been playing RPGs since last year. When the Americans win a Super Bowl, we go to Disneyland for a few days. But when the Chinese win the International, they indulge in Xuan Huan Sword 2 Dance of Maple Leaves for 9 fucking months. Don't ask me. This was weird for even the Chinese scene, and they incessantly mocked Newbee for letting the victory get to their head and disown the Dota 2 franchise. But now, with enough push, Newbee has begun practicing again and has been invited back to defend their championship at TI5. Sure, we laugh, but we laughed when Newbee first entered the scene at TI4 qualifiers only 1 year ago. Perhaps, just maybe, the RPGs have taught them special strategies that not even we... Anyhow, the players. Newbee's roster hasn't changed much since the last TI, so here is the lowdown of Team Calvagina. Chinese players tend to pick names based off simple English words, and the most simple of them is just a dude named Rabbit. Known as General Kim in the Chinese scene due to his striking resemblance to Kim Jong-un. Jesus, that's a dick move. Rabbit is Newbee's carry and offlaner, typically running Void, Weaver, or Lifestealer. Moo is the mid player of Newbee and had one of the best, if not highly talked about, mid performances at TI4. Fearsome Pubs, even to this day, just finishing up a 34-game ranked win streak, Moo is calculating, cautious, and explodes like a Chinese firecracker when he wants to. He has the absolute standard of death, skills, and gold per minute until he decides to let it all go in a blaze of glory. Western fans don't typically appreciate his everlasting patience, but Chinese fans have given him the very prestigious God nickname, which carries real weight in the Chinese scene. Think of the God and How God. Jun is Newbee's dedicated offlaner and has been ranked 1 on China's solo MMR since forever. He was close to 8K MMR but never made it past 7,999, which is quite sad, and is the only new player Newbee has gained since TI4. He also has the voice of a beautiful Chinese pop star. I think. Shan Shang is Newbee's support and has the nickname of Dog Brother. The story is back when being a pro player meant that you were exceedingly poor. Dog Brother would buy the cheapest cigarettes possible, which is apparently a big deal in China. Rumors even say that he would pick up cigarette leftovers in an internet cafe to fuel his addiction and literally lived like a dog. Wow, the Chinese do not fuck around with their nicknames. Dog Brother actually retired from the pro play in early 2014, but his team begged him back shortly before TI4, which he went on to win. Dota 2 was not his first competitive game, however, as he started off as a regional rock, paper, scissors champion in the Hunan province before Dota 2. He once boasted that if he lost to Team Titan as a stand-in for IG, he would cut his own penis off. They lost 0-2. No word on the penis. Last but not least, there is a man named Banana on this team. Also a support, Banana is the oldest member of the team in the Chinese scene, actively being a part of it since 2010. Also, the man's name is Banana.
I am a banana!
Newbee shocked the world last year, and perhaps they will do it again at TI5. What new strategies have they learned from Chinese Paladin, the Legend of Sword and Fairy? And what surprises will they bring to us this year? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching TIDL, and I will see you in person at TI5 and online again for the next episode. Keep it here.